Hello and welcome to the 2019 edition of the International Society for Magnetic Resonance in Medicine meeting in beautiful Montreal, Canada. My name is Brian Casey, Editor-in-Chief of AntMini.com. For many years, the dominant paradigm in MRI has been the 1.5 Tesla or now 3 Tesla superconducting scanner, but that's not really the only type of scanner that's possible. And so a lot of folks out there in MRI are working on different models for scanning at different field strengths. We have with us today Dr. Larry Wald. He is with Massachusetts General Hospital and with the Harvard Medical School, and his group has been working on some very different ideas for MRI. Dr. Wald, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. And yes, we've been working on for some time now on MRI technology, where the dominant paradigm is you have a large device and you bring the patient to the device. And we know from other modalities that you can also have possibly portable devices, and that extends the range of patients that can be accessible to the device. We can reach more patients if we essentially bring the device to the bedside or to the patient. And of course with MR and the big magnets, this has been a challenge, a technical challenge. But in this meeting and before in our group's work, we've been seeing that we can really make some progress with lower field and portable devices. In our case, we're concentrating on not what I'd call ultra low field, but low field like 0.1, 0.2 Tesla, so sort of clinically proven field strengths, but on the lower side. But we find we can make extremely portable devices. We've worked on a brain scanner that's about 300-pound magnet.
Wow.
And at this meeting, actually, we're also presenting what's almost a truly handheld device. The magnet weighs about 6 kilograms, and it's just almost something I can hold in one hand. And it does not image the whole brain, but the idea is you can move it around the brain and image sort of hockey puck-sized regions of the cortex.
And this is for human imaging?
It's human imaging.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, and the idea is to, like I said, bring MRI to the patient.
Which is it's a very different paradigm for MRI because, as you mentioned, MRI has always been about bringing the patient to the scanner, and just the simple act of sighting an MRI scanner is a major architectural hurdle.
Yeah, and there's been some very nice work to try to improve the sightability of, say, 1.5 Tesla scanners, but we're really trying to go in a sort of quantum leap where, literally, handheld devices and modalities like ultrasound have benefited enormously from that, right? They're ubiquitous because they're so portable.
Now, what are some of the clinical applications for these types of scanners? One that I can think of that comes to mind immediately would be for maybe concussion testing at a sports field.
Right, so we were originally funded actually by the Army, who was interested in essentially a battlefield or extremely field hospital-based MRI that simply could look for hematomas, could look for bleeds after head trauma.
Okay.
And what we should be able to see with these devices, anything that a sort of low field clinical scanner can see, hopefully, which is, we're concentrating on the larger pathologies. We have a lot of interest with some neurosurgeons who work in Africa on hydrocephalus. And hydrocephalus, of course, the ventricles become very large. It's quite easy to see in almost any MRI scan, so we don't feel we need the best MRI scan, but they just want to think of MRI as more of a monitoring tool to see how their shunts and treatments are working, month after month. So repeated measurements of children in cases where MRI is not very prevalent.
Now, what's the image quality like for these small scanners?
Yeah, so it's not as bad as you might think. I hate to be so negative like that, but we know that 0.2 and 0.3 T scanners are working all over the world every day.
And the older model of stationary scanners.
Open scanners. Yeah. They're still big and heavy, and they still work in the model of the dedicated radiology suite, wheel the patient in, bring the patient to the scanner, like I mentioned. But they are at around this field strength.
Yep.
So that's what we're shooting for. So, if you want to know what we hope our images would look like, you just look at a current, say, 0.2 or 0.3 Tesla open scanner.
Okay.
And that's the sort of thing we're shooting for. But emphasize just extreme portability. We want to wheel it down the hall. neuro ICU, doctor's office, oncologist office. So oncologist, okay, if you're getting a brain tumor removed, you'll probably still get your 1.5T, 3T for radiation planning. But the oncologist might want to just check your edema at every time you go visit them. And then if there's one sitting in the corner, you can just pop in and have a quick look at the brain edema.
Wow, this is fascinating. So how far do you think we are from seeing these scanners being used in the field?
I think it's less time than you might think. There's already some commercial activity. I think there's a little bit more than we actually even know about. And we're about to, I think, publish our first human images from the 100 kilogram brain scanner. And, we're still working on some artifacts and some aspects of the image quality, but they're closer than we
Excellent.
might think.
All right, well, something to look forward to. Dr. Wald, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Signing off for AntMini.com, my name is Brian Casey.